What colour?
No, Thursday.
Day off. Right, give us a shot when you guys are already at the back.
Yeah, you lot have changed out the formula with Dan. New innovation.
New manager, new change, right?
You good?
Yeah, good.
Yeah. Yes. Right, Paddy, over to you, mate.
That's nice to see you again. Thanks for your time. Probably the easiest place to start is maybe sort of get a general fitness roundup. If I sort of follow on from last Saturday, San Pauli, where are we with Jose Cordova for this weekend?
Still a question mark. We try. He's recovering well, and I think he's actually also okay. It's a matter of us finding the best balance in terms of the week that we step into with a game on Tuesday, Saturday will be best for him. But I think we will see some game time for him. Whether it want to be Saturday, maybe it's not a decision that we have taken yet.
I mean, reading between the lines there, he's obviously probably not got too much sort of training with the team this week, which makes it difficult in terms of building into Oxford, I guess, with the selection.
Yeah, he has done some. So, but again, it's for us also to be a little bit cautious. And again, we spoke last time, and we spoke about that he hasn't had that much of a holiday, so it's more or less just for him stepping from the Bulgarian season into the Copa America and then directly more or less here. So we also have to respect that and also be a little bit careful about that.
Other than Jose, I'm trying to think. I mean, is there any other sort of issues going into this game? Oh, we obviously know about Ashley Barnes.
Yeah. Not really, I think. No, not really.
Which is a good place to be.
Yeah. It's okay.
And it gets even better, of course, because first time I spoke to you since Callum Doyle in the building now. Just firstly, give us your thoughts on why him. We know that you have to be a little bit patient with the Man City situation going off on tour. What do you like in that profile of player?
Of course, his passing qualities, very, very high level, and what he's used to is exactly what we need. So, a player that we targeted, it feels like a couple of months ago, actually. Had some good talks with him, some good conversations, and we also made a clear plan for him and a player that we really, really like. So it was for us to be patient. Of course, we wanted him to be here as quick as possible. But it was this Monday, and it's fair enough. That's how it is.
I mean, in terms of integrating him into how you want to play, is it fair to say he was off with Enzo Maresca at Leicester? There's similarities maybe in terms of the demands that were placed on last season.
Yeah, we are comfortable that he's used to what we will ask him to do here. Of course, there will always be some small differences. That's how it is. But he's used to it, and we can also see that from day one he's very comfortable on the ball. He's in a good place, and what was also good for him and us is that he had minutes in the preseason tour here with Man City. So it's not like a player who we have to get him back into shape again. No, he's more or less ready.
As you said, they're more or less ready. So clearly, in your thoughts for Saturday.
Yeah, he will be.
And I think we didn't speak about his quality. You're involved with Man City. You're obviously a very good player. But at his age, I mean, is he 20 years of age? I think to have 100 games at this level, it shows he's got experience as well. Yeah,
definitely. He started playing on a high level very young. So he's used to it, and that's exactly what we need, both because of the profile as a player, but also as a profile of experience and top level here in England. So it's an important player for us and will be. But like the others, we have to be careful. Of course, we have to respect that he just joined us a couple of days ago. Have to find that balance in between where we start him, when we play with him, and how many minutes we can give him from the beginning. But he's a player ready for Saturday.
That's obviously 3 senior players in the door. I've got to ask you, is Mankwa Force and a player of interest?
I think it's fair to say.
Maybe ask you about that boxing would be better. Maybe ask you again about him Oxford.
We have to wait and see. Of course, there's no done deal, so we have to wait and see. I think it's maybe fair to say it's 50-50.
Going the other way, and again, it's the first time since we spoke to you, out the door, Gabby Zara, that got confirmed.
Yeah.
Now a Galatasaray player. Just your final reflections on him, really.
The same as what we spoke about. I think it's a fantastic personality, Gabby. It's more than well deserved. Of course, all of us have liked him to see him here in the club next season as well. Of course, but when an offer like this comes on the table and it's a player where he's ready to take the next step, it's also an important signal for us to send as a club if we have the ambition to bring in players with the potential and quality like Gabby in the future as well. Then players need to see that when you perform well here, you also have the option to go to an even higher level. So I think it's a good case for us. It's a great story, and it's really a player where I think I can speak on his behalf, saying that he felt loved here, and he felt that this was actually his club. So I hope that we will see him back sometime.
I mean, as you say, it goes without saying, a very influential player. In terms of his goals and contributions, I think it was 25 and 46 league games last season. That's a huge amount to now find the answers to. I mean, where do you go with that?
Yeah.
From within the group, is it bringing players in?
I think we have to be able to find them within the group. I think it is also fair to say that we look at the market and see what we can bring in from outside. It will always be difficult to replace a guy like Gabby 1-to-1, so we have to find players that can do it in their own way and then still contribute to the way that we want to do things. But we are in the market. We look for how we can find players that will suit our game model the best possible way, but also, of course, expecting that some of the next players will now take the step and hopefully can do as many goals and assists as you just spoke about here.
I mean, at that point, indeed. I mean, we don't need to forget individual players, but if your ball has signs, for example, you know, some of these younger players, now Gabby's gone, it's like, can you take that responsibility?
That's always exciting to see, and there will always be a history before Gabby and after Gabby, and that's how it is with good players. And fortunately, you more or less always see that next ones are ready to take that step, and hopefully we create some good stories also this season now. And then maybe most likely we'll talk about transfers out next summer at this point, because someone took that step, someone made that or created that role in the team, which is important for us.
I mean, you mentioned transfers out. I appreciate we're here today, speaking about Oxford, but a little bit more speculation around John Rowe, Adam Eder. Where are we? Is it just same stated position from the club? You have valuations. If clubs want to meet those, then you can have talks.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it is. These guys, they train with the group and important players for the group, and that's how it is. We have to respect that the window is still open, so many things can happen. We cannot affect what will happen. We cannot affect whether there will be an offer from a club here and there. That's just how it is, and that's also what I tell the players on a daily basis. Fortunately, they're doing well. They're performing well. They're training well, and I will also say that their heads are ready to perform here.
Yeah, and one final footnote on that. The fact is, you only have to look at Gabby Zara and how that played out. Just focus on your football. Everything around you will play out.
Exactly. And he's a fantastic story also for us internally to use, because, like I said, he was here even before we started pre-season, a couple of days before, just to make sure that he was ready and he was fit, and he's been performing with a very high quality from day one. And that's exactly how you have to behave and how you have to conduct yourself as a player in this difficult market where so many things is going on and so much media attention and so much to read and listen to. But the only thing you can actually do is make sure that you perform on a daily basis.
Just want to ask you about one of the younger players. I mean, the squad list, the numbers were put out by the club there a day or two ago. Ken Abbo's not on there, so can we read into that maybe Football League loan might be the route with him?
It can be a possibility for him, yeah. At the moment, there's some way for him to make it into the first team. It doesn't mean that there will be no chance for him. We have to wait and see, but we also have to plan the best possible pathway for him. And whether that will be a loan or another option, I think we will get closer to that within the next 1 week or two.
And on that point, I mean, I asked you about Brad Hill specifically after the St. Pauli, and you stated that, not quite made my mind up where the pathway is. Clearly you value him as a player, but whether it's in the here and now, have you made your mind up on him? Not yet. I think for a coach or manager, when the window is open and the season is started, is not always what you prefer, because so many things is going on while you also have to perform in a league. On the positive side is that you have a couple of games where you can see the squad, you can see the players before you take final decisions with them, and you can also have an idea of where the team is and how many players you actually need going forward. He's been performing well, he's been doing well. What we have to make sure as a club is that we take the right decision for him, because definitely he should be a part of this team. Whether it's now or the future, we have to wait and see. But game minutes is important for him, but it's a player we believe in. Yeah, you've reiterated that again. And as much as there's maybe a focus outside the camp on this window and this transfer window, players like him, I think I'm right in saying he's a 2025 contract. I mean, players who you think are going to be part of it moving forward, do you also need to be almost a twin track, sitting down with them, looking at their futures, maybe doing something contractually with those sort of players?
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to say anything on that now?
Yeah, but it's ongoing conversations always. That's how it is. We can not only plan for the game on Saturday. I know it's it's often perceived from outside when of course the season is started, but we also have to look at the long-term perspective and look at how the team will look like in January when we start again, next summer when we start again, and we have to plan that, and we have to be very careful on how we plan it.
And bring it right round now to this weekend in Oxford. Give us a sense of the mood this week. Does it feel like there's a gear change from pre-season and fitness and building up minutes to no, this is now start the season, 3 points, we're ready to go?
I think we are ready to go. What has been both good but also a little bit difficult to handle is of course how many players we were to begin with. Some of the more experienced guys coming in pre-season a little bit later have to manage that team and have to balance that team and have to here the last couple of games find that squad and find these relations between the players. But I think we are ready. We have had some good sessions here the last couple of days, and I think we're getting close to having a good idea on how the squad will look like Saturday, but also going forward in this season. And there's a good energy within the squad. There's a good dynamic. There's a good a feeling of excitement going into Saturday in Oxford.
Would that apply equally to yourself and Glenn and all the coaches as well?
Yeah, of course, it's fantastic. It's been like that from day one. I like as a coach pre-season because so much work to be done, and you can really feel that you're a football coach when you have the players on pitch more or less every day. But of course, also when the season starts, and I just heard we have 1,500 fans in Oxford more or less, and on Saturday, it's just fantastic to get started and in front of these guys. So. We will do everything we can to perform as good as possible and make sure that we are prepared.
And on that point, preparation, just interesting because it's probably the first time we've sat down with you and it's for real now. I mean, how much do you divert of your time during the week, you and your coaches, to the opposition, to analysing what they're about, their strengths and weaknesses? Or are you more of a coach? No, it's about us and what we do.
It is what we do, and that's the most important part, but we have to know what they do as well. We will never be a team that adapts too much to what they do, but we have to prepare the players on how they play, the strengths, weaknesses, types of players, and so on. We have to prepare our players. But hopefully what you will see is a Norwich team that from Saturday to Saturday look like Norwich, no matter where we play and no matter who it's against. But there can be some small details in it, some small tactical adjustments, which for the trained eye would be easy to find, and for the non-trained eye maybe a little bit more difficult to find.
And in terms of the type of game, I think it's a given that they've come up, they're newly promoted, they've had that Wembley success, so there's going to be a momentum around that place. Players, fans, anybody connected with that club, there's an excitement there, and you probably have to, with it being their first home game, they'll be really up and out, you're going to have to probably deal with that element as well.
I think it is like that with every game in the championship. I think no matter where we go, when we are the away team, I think we can expect a crowd where they will be supporting the home team as much as possible. They will come out with everything they have. We have to make sure that we are as excited as they are. It's also a first game of the season for us, and I expect that we will perform on a high level from minute one, but also be ready to take that fight that it will be most likely in the beginning of the match. But it's fair to say when you go in as a away team, there will always be a crowd supporting the other team. That's how it is. But I just highlighted that we have 1,500 away fans for the game as well. So hopefully they can also be backing us up when we need it. But it's important for us to tell the story that it's also first game of the season for us, and we will come out with full power and full energy.
But you're right, it is the first game, and I thought it was interesting after the Sao Paulo game, you said, look, it's not going to be perfect, maybe game 1, game 2, game 3, maybe even longer, because we know what you're trying to do now. It's quite a change from what's gone before. So those fans there, the ones who are not at the game but watching, what's the baseline, do you think, in this first month or two? What can they expect, or what do you expect from your side?
Yeah, it has to be clear that we are building something here, and we're trying to change the way that we play and the way that we perform just a little bit. We try to change the the strategy in the club to play with a little bit younger squad. So it needs to be clear from day one what we do. Of course, it's also fair to say that we're also building while we have to perform on every Saturday. So it will not be perfect from day one. That's how it is. We have to make sure that we find that right balance so we can perform from day one, knowing that it will not be perfect. We still have some way to go, and that's natural. That's how it is. And then with the other thing in mind, that the transfer window is still open, so many things can happen. We just have to make sure that we can go to Oxford, perform on a high level, still knowing that hopefully and what we can also expect is that in the future it will be even better.
Yeah, that's the final one for me. I mean, it's out of your hands that the window rolls on till I think it's the 30th. But is it almost, once we've gone past that, the window's closed, you know what group of players you've got? Things start to settle down a bit.
I think that's a good day for almost every coach, no matter where he is, whether it's in England or other places in the world, because of course there you know how the squad will look, and you know which players will be here, and you know also players coming in, so what we can work with and how the group will look for a couple of months. So that's a good day and a day you're looking forward to as a coach. I know fans love this time of season where so many rumors and so many media stories, but well, I prefer 2nd of September.
So do I. Good luck Saturday.
Thank you.
Paddy. Andy?
Hi, Johannes.
Hi.
We talked about you've got a lot of young players this season. What is the expectation this season? Is it promotion? Is it about consolidation? I'm just interested to see what the internal expectations are.
I think this club, size of this club, quality of the players that we have in the building here, but I think we should be there where we can compete for promotion. Whether that's first or second in the league, maybe not, but I think we should be in there where the playoffs definitely are realistic for us to be a part of. And I think, again, with all due respect to all the other teams, I think there's definitely some very strong sides in the league as well. But I think we have to be able to perform and get up there.
I mean, you talked about Amankwa potentially coming in. In terms of replacing Gabby, are you looking for a couple of players to replace him? Because he's obviously such a big goalkeeper. Is that the way you'd go about it?
I think it's a way to to look at it, definitely, because it's like I said, it's difficult to replace a guy like Gabby 1-to-1, because to find that quality, to find that potential in a player, that will be expensive and maybe too expensive for us. So I think it's fair to look at it that way, where it can maybe be a way for us to go where it's not only one player, but it's maybe two players.
And actually, I mean, using Gabby as an example, is that something you can say to new signings, that he's been so successful here and now he's got a big move to a massive club in Europe? Can you kind of use that as an incentive for people to sign?
Yeah, and for everyone to understand that if a guy like him were in Norwich for the rest of his career, then we can never get players with potential like that and performance level like that to come to Norwich, because we just have to respect that there is, of course, a higher level than us. That's just how it is in football. No matter where you are, more or less, there will always be some clubs that are on a high level. We have to be able to create stories where people and players can see if they come here and they perform here in a couple of seasons, then they can take the next step in their career, and that will create better stories and more stories, and for us, of course, even better possibilities in bringing in potential and performance for the future. So it's a hugely important story for us to tell this.
Just a final one. I mean, you've been here a few months now.
Yeah.
What have you made of Norfolk and living here? What have you made of this place?
I'm still waiting for the time to go to the beaches and so on. So I've heard so many stories, and I've only seen from an airplane that it looks quite beautiful. I like the city. It's a beautiful city, and so many great places, so many friendly people, supportive people. No matter where I go, there's smiles, and there's also people approaching me asking questions. But it's supportive. So fantastic place to be, and then I'm looking forward to the first maybe national team break, where I have a little bit of time to go and see this part of the country.
Well, good luck Saturday.
Thank you.
Thanks, Andy. If you could have cameras off, please. And then Jack, do you want to jump up here and...